I don't usually tell this story, not because I'm keeping it secret, but because every time I do, I feel like I'm inviting it back. Like the moment I speak it out loud, I'll hear those footsteps again. But since it's late, and you asked, fine, just don't laugh if I sound paranoid. It was January 14th, dead of winter. I remember the date because it's burned into my brain. That was the night my phone died at 2:37 a.m. Those frozen numbers on the screen felt like a curse, a timestamp, like the universe marking something I wasn't supposed to see. I just finished a night shift at the diner, one of those 24-hour places where the lights buzz too loud, the air stinks of burnt coffee, and no matter what you do, you leave feeling sticky. Normally I'd take the bus home, but that night I stayed late, helped clean up. By the time I clocked out, the last bus was gone, so I walked 3 miles through empty streets. The cold was brutal, that kind of sharp metallic cold that burns every time you breathe in. The only sound was the crunch of my boots on frost. No wind, no cars, just silence. The kind of silence that doesn't feel natural. Around 2:15, I checked my phone. Battery at 6%, screen cracked. I thought about calling an Uber, but I'd left my debit card at work. No card, no cash, no choice. That's when I saw him. There's this stretch of road near my apartment lined with old street lamps. Half of them don't work, so the ones that do, they glow in these scattered little orange circles, swallowed by black in between. And under one of those lamps, the third one I think, a man was standing. At first I thought, just some drunk guy, maybe waiting for someone. But the longer I looked, the less sense it made. He wasn't moving, not pacing, not checking his phone, just standing there. His head tilted back, staring straight up at the buzzing bulb above him. And here's the thing, the light should have lit up his face. It was right above him, but it didn't. His head stayed in shadow, like the light bent around him. I slowed down without even realizing it. My boots sounded too loud. My hand tightened on my backpack strap. That's when I noticed his clothes. A button-up shirt, sleeves too short for his arms, black pants bunched awkwardly at the ankles, and his shoes, polished dress shoes but scuffed and dirty. One lace missing. It felt wrong, like he was wearing someone else's clothes. My stomach whispered, cross the street, don't walk past him. But the other side, pure black, no lamps, no glow, nothing. And somehow, stepping into that void felt worse. So I kept going. 30 feet away, his head snapped down, not slowly, not like a drunk guy noticing me. It was sharp, wrong, like a puppet yanked on a string. And then he smiled. God, that smile. Lips pulled back just enough to show teeth. But the rest of his face didn't move. No crinkle in the eyes, no tension in the cheeks, just teeth. I froze, my breath caught in my throat, and then he stepped sideways, not toward me, just out of the circle of light. And the second he did, he was gone, swallowed by the dark, no footsteps, no shuffle, nothing. I whispered to myself, you imagined it, you're exhausted. You didn't see that. Like saying it out loud could undo it. And then I heard it, behind me, a single shoe, dragging, scraping against the concrete. I spun around so fast my backpack slipped off my shoulder. The road was empty, just that long, frost-crusted stretch behind me. I stood there, ears straining, heart hammering in my throat. Nothing. So I turned back, kept walking. And there it was again. Drag, pause, drag. I didn't dare look back again. I just walked faster. My boots crunched quick, sharp, but the sound matched me. Every few steps, that slow, deliberate scrape. It wasn't steady. It came in bursts, like it was waiting until I let my guard down. I whispered to myself, don't run, because running felt like giving permission. Like if I bolted, it'd chase me. Streetlight after streetlight flickered above me. And I kept picturing him standing under one, just waiting, smiling. But he never was. The dragging sound, though, it never left. By the time I reached my apartment complex, I felt hollow, like my body was on autopilot. I fumbled my keys with shaking hands, dropped them twice, finally got one into the lock. I shoved the door open, slammed it shut, pressed my forehead to the cold wood, gasping, chest burning. For 1 second, I thought it was over. I even laughed. This broken, shaky little laugh. See? You're fine. You're safe. Just your brain. And then, one sound, right outside the door. That dragging shoe. I froze, my hand hovering on the lock, my ears ringing with silence. No knock, no voice, no footsteps walking away. Just that single scrape. And then, nothing. I didn't move the rest of the night. I sat on the floor by the door, knees to my chest, staring at the thin strip of light under the frame, watching it like it might change, barely breathing. When the sun finally rose, I opened the door. Nothing. No footprints in the frost. No sign anyone had been there. But I know what I heard, and I've never walked that road again. You ever get that feeling? Like the night's already wrong before anything even happens? Like the air's got a charge to it, heavy, buzzing, telling you something bad's coming. That was me. That night, it was a Thursday, late summer, humid, the kind of night where the air clings to your skin. I'd stayed way too long at a friend's place. Supposed to be a quick dinner, but you know how it goes. One beer turned into 3, stories got funnier, time slipped away. By the time I finally left, it was past midnight. I remember glancing at the dash when I started the engine. 12:47 a.m. The streets were empty. My drive home simple, 15 minutes. Straight county road through farmland, a patch of trees, then the first stoplight near my neighborhood. I've done that drive 100 times, but that night, it felt different. The first thing I noticed, the silence. Usually there's at least one other car, a trucker, someone leaving a shift, headlights somewhere in the distance. But that night, nothing, just me. At first I thought, great, clear road, I'll be home in no time. But the longer I drove, the heavier that emptiness got. The road stretched too far, too still, my headlights catching nothing but lines blurring past. And then, headlights in my rear view. Far back, 2 tiny orbs floating in the dark. Finally, another car. No big deal, but something about them was wrong. They didn't bounce, didn't dip, didn't sway the way headlights usually do over bumps. Just a perfect, steady glide. I checked my speed, 48. Normal. Told myself I was overthinking, but within minutes they were closer. Not rushing, not weaving, just closing the gap. Smooth, precise. Now it's 5 car lengths behind. I can make out the shape. A sedan, dark colored. Here's the part that chilled me. No matter what speed I picked, it matched me. I slowed to 40. It slowed. I pushed 55. It kept perfect pace. My chest started tightening. I tried to rationalize. Maybe they're just cautious, maybe nervous about driving alone too. But deep down, I knew something was off. We hit the tree line. The road narrows there, branches leaning in overhead like a tunnel. My headlights barely cut through. In the mirror, those 2 orbs followed me in, silent, steady. And that's when I saw it, the windshield. I don't know how I noticed. Maybe the angle, maybe instinct. But when I squinted, there was no driver, no head, no shoulders, just empty glass. My stomach dropped. I blinked, leaned forward, convinced I was seeing wrong. But no, it was empty. I whispered, no, that's not right, like saying it might change something. But the car kept pace. Perfect, unwavering. My hands were locked on the wheel, knuckles white. What do you even do in that moment? Pull over? Floor it? Pretend it's not there? I chose speed, pressed the gas. The engine screamed past 60. The road blurred, my chest rattling with every bump. I checked again. Closer, not lunging, not swerving, just calmly there. 2 car lengths. That's when I saw the license plate. Blank, not dirty, not covered, just empty metal, like it never had numbers at all. My phone buzzed in the cup holder. I jumped so hard the car swerved. I glanced down. Text message. No name, just a random number. It said, "Don't look back." I nearly threw the phone out the window. My hands shook so bad I couldn't even unlock it. And against every bit of instinct, I looked. The road behind me was empty. No car, no headlights, nothing. Relief hit first, then confusion. Maybe it turned off, maybe I missed a side road, but then headlights flared in front of me, dead center, my lane. I screamed, yanked the wheel, tires shrieked against asphalt. The world tilted, blurred. For one sickening second, I thought I'd crash right into it. But when my car slammed onto the shoulder, dust swirling around me, the road ahead was empty, just trees, no car, no lights. I sat there shaking, engine idling rough. Then my phone buzzed again. Same number, new message. "You shouldn't have looked." That's when I lost it. I floored it. No memory of the next 10 minutes, just speed. Didn't stop until I saw the glow of a gas station. I pulled in hard, nearly clipping the curb. Sat under the harsh fluorescent lights like they could keep me safe. The attendant looked up, startled, but didn't say a word. And I stayed there, until the sun came up. When I finally drove home, the road looked normal, ordinary, like nothing ever happened. But I don't take that stretch anymore. I add 20 minutes every time, no matter what. And sometimes, on quiet nights, when the road feels too empty, I still catch myself checking the mirror, waiting for those headlights. You ever notice how silence at night feels different? Heavier. During the day, quiet is just background noise. But at night, silence presses in. It's loud. That's where I was, lying in bed, half asleep, scrolling through my phone, when it started. It was 3:13 in the morning. I know the time because I flipped my phone over and those ugly pale blue numbers lit up. 3:13. I should have been asleep hours ago, but I couldn't. My chest was tight, thoughts restless, eyes flicking toward the blinds like maybe something was out there. And then I heard it, a knock. Not the front door, not the walls, not the ceiling, from inside my apartment. At first I froze. You know that kind of freeze where your ears strain, stretching for the sound to repeat? That was me, phone dimming in my hand, blue light glowing on my sheets, lungs barely moving. Then it came again. Slow, hollow, wooden, not the door. I know how my door sounds. This was closer. The hallway closet. I whispered to myself, "No, no, 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 no," because it didn't make sense. Nobody was in my apartment. I lived alone. I locked the door, checked it twice, like I always do, so I did what anyone would do. I lied to myself. Old building. Thin walls, probably just the neighbors, except I live on the top floor, and that closet, it backs against the stairwell. No apartment, no neighbor, just concrete and steel. That's when the knock came again. 3 times. Even. Patient. I sat up in bed, body stiff, mouth dry, palms sweating. I glanced at my phone again. 3:16. 3 minutes had passed. It felt like hours. And then my phone buzzed. One notification, an airdrop request. The name, just one word. Closet. I didn't accept it. Couldn't. My thumb hovered, but I couldn't do it. The screen dimmed again, and suddenly that blue glow felt like the only thing keeping me tethered. That's when the knock hit harder, louder, like whatever was inside wanted me to open it. I whispered out loud, "Please, stop, please." And it did. Not faded, not distant, just gone. The silence was worse. I could hear the fridge humming in the kitchen, the drip of the bathroom faucet, even the blood pounding in my ears, but no knock. I don't know how long I sat like that. Maybe 20 minutes, maybe more. Last time I checked the phone, it was 3:42. Eventually I got brave, or maybe just stupid. I grabbed the heaviest thing I owned, this rusted dumbbell from under my bed, and I walked to the closet. Every step felt wrong, the air thicker, colder. I touched the knob. It was freezing, too cold, and just as I started to turn it, a whisper, not loud, not clear, but definitely a voice, coming from inside. I didn't open it. I couldn't. I stumbled back, shaking so hard I dropped the dumbbell. It smashed my toe, but I didn't feel a thing. I crawled back into bed, pulled the blanket over my head like I was 5 years old again, and I stared at that blue phone screen until the first hints of daylight crept through the blinds. When the sun finally rose, I opened the closet, empty, just coats, old boxes, a busted vacuum. But when I closed the door, that's when I saw it, scratched into the inside wood. 3 crooked words. See you tonight. And now, every night since, I've been too scared to fall asleep before 3:13.